Okay, hello everyone. This is actually my third uh, tutorial that I have tried to develop for you to understand so that if you have missed a class, you can, still go through of what we have done. As usual, the rules remain the same. If you have any query, you may browse through the learning management system. If not, you can always comment below the video and you can ask me any questions if you have regarding this, and then I'll be happy to explain. As I said, I mean, this is my first time as well doing all of the videos. So I'm, if there are any errors, do let me know. But I'm trying my best to, find some way to make up for if anything that you missed during these online sessions. So third topic that we're going to discuss today is research writing. In research writing, we are basically going to talk about what it is the process of a research and what are the key elements that we have in research. For that, first we need to understand what is research. Research is a careful investigation or inquiry, especially to search for new facts in any branch of knowledge. In research, we are finding new information. We are finding out that where there is a gap, what is there that is unknown to the people, and then you find that out. Remember, in the problem statement, we were finding out that about a topic that people don't know about, or a theoretical conflict that people don't know which one to choose from. So research will help them decide. Obviously, it's always systematic and organized. When I say systematic, that means that there has to be a proper process through which you're going to go do your research. So if you talk about the research, a research is an 8-step model. Sometimes you may find it in the 5-step, or sometimes you may have a 6-step, because sometimes people merge the steps, sometimes the steps are extended so that people can understand. No matter whether it's 5-step or 6 or 8, the key things that you will do will remain the same. Okay, the first thing that you will do is that you're going to formulate a research problem. That means you're going to find out that, what are you going to research on. The first thing to do is you find an area of interest. When you decide on an area of interest, you go and you study about what type of research is done in that area of interest. You see that how much work has already been done. It may be you might be thinking of something as a problem, but that thing has already been solved by someone else. Someone has already researched on it, and there's already saturation over there. So what you need to do is that you need to go through that, and then you need to formulate a research problem. You need to understand the problem. You need to rephrase it into a meaningful term. You need to develop a WH question, and then you need to, find a way. You need to go and talk to the experts as well and see that whether it is valid to be investigated or not. Obviously, while you are doing that, you are reviewing the literature as well. The literature review is going on. You are reading different papers. You are understanding what type of research are already done. The next thing that you do is that you conceptualize a research design. Once you know that this is a problem that I would like to work on, you need to see that what type of design will best suit to solve this particular problem. There are different designs, like there are different research techniques that you can go for. You can go for qualitative research, you can go for quantitative research, and then in qualitative there are further choices, in quantitative there are further choices, which I will not go in detail right now. We will have another lecture for that. But you need to conceptualize a research design. You cannot pick and choose by yourself, but you need to see that which is the best design to solve your research problem. You're going to understand your research problem and see that what are the requirements, what type of things are required to solve that problem. Once you are done with the design will help you choose the data collection tool. There are different data collection tools like questionnaires, interviews, focus group, observations, survey, experiments. And then you're going to see again the problem will decide what will be your data collection tool. What will you be asking people to fill up your questionnaire? Will you be taking their interviews? Will you be conducting an experiment in the lab? Will you be observing them? Once you construct a tool, you need to decide your sample. The sample is very important. The sample is the participants that will participate in your study. So who will be the participant? The people who are actually facing that problem. People who are going through that problem will be your sample. The entire people is your population. Then you need to find a sample from that. I will upload a separate chapter on sampling as well for you to have a better idea. But overall, there are different types of sampling. We have probability sampling, we have non-probability sampling, we have mixed sampling, and then obviously you need to choose. Obviously, again, By choosing, I mean, you need to see the design and then you need to see the research problem, which is going to help you decide which sample design you should go for, which tool you should go for. Then obviously the last step is that you not the last, but for this you the next step is you write a research proposal. In the research proposal you tell them that, this is a problem that I've developed, this is how much literature I've worked, and this is a methodology that I plan to go for, this is how I have planned to develop my tool, or whether I'm going to use an already developed tool, or this is how I am going to analyze the data. You might, if you have some assumptions or hypotheses, you write them here. You may write them here as well. If you are not writing a proposal, but you're writing a research paper, so you will not do fifth step, but you will come to the sixth step, which is gathering the data. Whatever the tool that you have developed or whatever the tool that you have chosen, you will go and you will collect data using the same. If you have chosen questionnaire, then you will go and you will ask people to fill up your questionnaire. If you have chosen interviews, then you will go and you will conduct interviews. Then the last thing, then the seventh step is that you process the data, you edit the data into a more meaningful form, then you categorize them, you quote them, then you may develop themes from them, then you may, if it's a quantitative research, you enter them into SPSS or any other software, and then you run regression or any other test, and then you find the results. Once you get the results, finally you write your research report. Your research report will have different chapters with the findings, with the conclusions, with the summary of everything that you have done. If I talk about the research process, this is how it goes. You define a research problem, you review the pertaining concepts, theories, you review the previous findings, and then you formulate a hypothesis. From there you find out the research design, which is the best way of doing this work. You collect the data, you analyze the data, you interpret it and report the data. So this is a common procedure that you follow. If we talk about the structure, usually we have a title page, we have approval letter, then we have the table of contents with the page numbers. We have a list of tables and figures. Sometimes you may have a preface. Usually we don't. Then you write your acknowledgement, and then obviously the abstract. I've already given you a tutorial on abstract and the research problem as well, and we have talked about significance. Then obviously then we come to the main report. Sometimes usually your background and research problem and your significance go into your introduction. Then after the introduction you write your literature review, you discuss all of the literature that you have studied to come to the to understand the problem, to understand that what are the gap, where is the gap. Then you talk about the findings and the discussions, and then you conclude your paper. But obviously whenever you are writing your research needs to be well cited, so you need to give proper references and bibliography as well. And then in the appendices you usually give the raw data. Sometimes you may give your tool as well. In the appendices you may add up any other schedule that you think is an extra that needs to be there in your research report. So this is actually a simply about a short tutorial on the research process and the key elements. If for the key elements, as I said, in your research, if you're writing a research paper, you will have an abstract. Then you're going to talk about the introduction. In the introduction, you will talk about background of the study, the problem statement, the significance. Then you will have literature review, in which you're going to evaluate all of the current literature. Usually we talk about current literature more because we need to be updated for with the current thing that is going on. Then we have our research problem. Then we talk about our methodology, that what will be our data collection tool, what will be our sample, how are we going to analyze it. Then we collect the data. After that we analyze the data, we edit the data, and then we give the findings and discussion, and overall then we conclude our result. So this was all about the research process, the 8-step research process, and the basic elements of a research paper or a thesis. Sometimes one or two things can be, placed up and down, or maybe is substituted or edited as per the requirements or the format. But if you have any queries, as I said, you may comment below the video and you can let me know so that I will respond accordingly. Thank you. I hope the tutorials will help you in preparing in understanding the topics more. Thank you.